Hello everyone. It's Elena Bartosh, your real estate investor, and my podcast today is most of the time about private money world. Every real estate investor knows private money. This is a way to scale our business, and we need to build relationship with lenders. We need to know how to find them, how to start speaking with them, how to build relationship with people who never have done lending. And for those who are in real estate, knows there are some very specific, very professional people who know how to do professionally. We call them capital raisers. And today, my guest is known capital raiser in sub 2 community, Jill Jensen. She has experience in capital raising and she is very go-giver person. And I believe you will get lots of golden nuggets today from her. Hi, Jill.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I'm very proud to have you today as my guest, Jill.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
was it was I think last spring that we met the first time on a different podcast that I was on with for JJ.
Yep. It was a great podcast. Oh my gosh, it was almost basic to me. You shared last that time how to start raising capital. It was really helpful. Thank you so much, Jill.
Oh, good. I'm glad it was helpful and I'm glad to be here and hope I can give some advice and help to your guests as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. And our goal, guys, today really to help you as much as possible to give you information that could help you to in your capital raising journey. Thank you so much, Bob. I see your comment. Absolutely, great combination today. Thank you so much. We are happy to see you today and to have you as an our. Uh, okay, Jill. Could you please tell people a little bit who is Jill Jensen?
Yes, I am a mother to two daughters. I live in Utah and I got into real estate just over 2 years ago. And I started out as a private money lender myself. And once I started private money lending and got my money making me some money, I realized that there was a need for a lot of other people in the real estate space that struggled with closing some of their deals because they didn't have the funding for it. And so that's when I stepped into the space of raising capital and helping other investors. Those that had the deals, I would be the one that would go help find the money to fund them. So that's kind of how I got started.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's great mission actually. Really great. You cannot just raise money for your own projects. You can help people how to raise money.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you can make money by just being the person that helps fund it.
Beautiful. Do you remember your first experience, how you started raising capital?
Well, first it started with like my own deals, and I worked pretty close with Pace when I first got started on lending my money. And one of the biggest piece of advice I give to someone, let's say there's someone that's listening that has money and they're looking to invest. And the biggest piece of advice that I received that I always give is loan to own. Don't lend on a deal if you're not willing to own the worst case scenario. So, how I've overcome that is if I'm lending on, let's say, we'll take a fix and flip, for example. The person that I'm going to lend to, they need to have collateral that is worth more than my loan. So, a different cash flowing property that, let's say, the fix and flip flops, I hold collateral, this other property, so it's securing my funds or my loan. And the reason I share that is because when someone's kind of getting into this space, I explain that to the person that's raising capital. So let's say you go find yourself a deal. Now that you understand that concept, you know how to overcome that for someone that has money. Because if you can
Mm-hmm.
secure their funds, or you're like, hey, I can pitch this person that I have collateral or I have a way to secure their loan, they're going to be more likely to lend on your deal. So, some advice on raising capital is you want to kind of get into the mind of the person that has the money. You want to be able to overcome the stories that they're telling themselves or the concerns that they're having. So being able to lend my own funds, I got to see what it's like being the person that's getting pitched to. So now I'm able to step into that same space when I'm raising capital because I know what it's like to be the person lending my money. So my first deal was with someone who's also in sub two, and he's the first person that I also raised capital for. He was able to get collateral on all of my loans and all my properties. And so it was really easy for me to feel confident raising capital for someone that I'm also lending my money to. So it's really
Mm.
important to find someone that is already experienced in what it is that you're trying to do, and then either partner with them or learn from them. And that's what I did.
Yeah, it's great. You had great experience and positive experience with professional borrower, with professional partner. It's awesome. My gosh, I have so many questions to you. You just mentioned a mindset, and it was my second question. So, for those who are struggling to start, we all need money. We all need to raise capital, and I know this is our could be a huge obstacle for us. Our mindset. We are not self-confident. We don't know how to start. We are afraid someone will think we are silly, we are stupid, we don't know topic, etc., etc., etc. What do you think? What are the mindset we have to work with first to be to become good capital raiser?
I think sometimes people have a hard time with the mindset because they're worrying too much about themselves. And a
Mm,
lot of
I
times
love.
you're going to be putting your own agenda on this person that has the money, and you're trying to convince them of something you want them to do. If you can
Mhm.
switch the mindset and overcome whatever their story is or their situation is, it's going to be a lot easier to raise the capital. So I'm going to give you an example of things I say on a call when I'm about to pitch someone to raise capital from them. This is kind of like your blueprint or your outline. I get on a
Please.
call with someone. I'm literally going to give you the words I use. And it's very important to get the person that has the capital, you want to get them talking. And so you want to start by asking them questions before you pitch your deal. Because if you can start to understand who they are, where their mindset is, and their goals, you're going to know how to close them on why they should pick your deal to lend on.
Mm,
So, for example, let's say you and I get on a call and I'm very structured. I tell you I have a time limit. I have 30 minutes to be on this call with you today. And I want to get to know where you are in real estate and what your goals are. And I'm taking notes when they're talking. I'm being very alert and listening because the things that they're about to tell me or you're going to tell me, I'm going to bring up throughout our conversation of how my deal can align with their goals. So we're solving their problem, not trying to convince them of doing something we want them to do. So once they've kind of told me their goals, their experience, now I know how to pitch them. And I'm going to give you an example of two different people I pitched in the same week. I raised $100,000 from two different people. One was a female and one was a male. And the gentleman, he had been in real estate and he had done lots of deals. And the reason I figured that out is because I asked that question in the beginning. What's your experience and what are your goals? And then I wrote those down. He's like, I just have lots of capital. I'm looking for different business partners who have experience and I want a 12% return. Cool. This other woman, same week, I was pitching the same mobile home park that I was raising capital for. She had never done a real estate deal. She was using a cash value account from her life insurance policy, and she was really interested in this concept. She heard me talk about it on social media, so she reached out to me. They had very different knowledge about real estate. So the terminology I'm using, the pitching I'm doing is going to be very different because of what she told me. So going
mhm,
back to the first gentleman, I went to my PowerPoint, my pitch deck. I went through the numbers. I explained who our team members are, the how secure their loan is, their timeline. He just wanted the basics. He wanted just like, give me the information. Where this woman, I needed to secure her confidence on me and a step-by-step process. Like, here's what the paperwork,
Mm,
like, here's some of the terminology. Here's literally step by step what we're going to do after we get off this call, what it looks like today until you get all your money back at the end of 5 years. And I was able to raise the same amount from two different people on the same deal, but I pitched them very differently. And so that's the
mhm,
advice I give people is really get to know the capital, the person with the capital and what their goals are. And then basically navigating your pitch to align with their goals.
mhm, So you want to say uh, knowledge of psychology, of human nature. This is
Yes.
really basic, right?
Yes. There's a little bit of psychology. And it's really just the crazy part is you're actually helping this person make money. People that are
Mm,
raising capital are worried you're trying to sell them on lending you money when really you're thinking about helping them make money.
mm. Guys, whoever who watch us right now, please put in the chat one if you already got this point. We really come to lenders not because we beg for money, because we bring them opportunities.
Yes.
Who is
Exactly.
in that point already? Please let us know. Yeah, I love it. I love it, love it. This is really for me, it was just icebreaker when I got this point to this point. Yeah, we bring people opportunities. They need good brokers, they need good partners to start working with. And
Yes.
yeah, my gosh, I love so much when you mentioned we should stop worrying too much about ourselves,
Yes.
who we
It's how
are.
can I serve or help this other person? How can I help solve their problem? And there are a lot of people that have a lot of extra funds or money looking for an opportunity. That's why they're on the call with you. That's why they're meeting with you, is because they're trying to find a way to get their money, to make them money.
Perfect. And now you stepped into the next room. Where is my question? Next question is, so my next question is, where us as in real estate investors, where we should start looking for lenders? Yes, we all, most of us, we are top two members. I know we can post in the sub two group, but there is a life out of sub two, right? We need to look for people all around. So, what do you think the best platforms, or I don't know, whatever way we can start looking for people?
This is a really good question, and I'm going to answer it kind of two different ways, and they're kind of contradicting. So it depends on what you're raising capital for. So first, let's say our average sub-2 students are just trying to raise some capital for a single family home or $50,000 to close on a deal or something like that. You can find that really easily inside the sub-2 community. And so we're going to start there. When I first got
Mhm.
into sub-2, I didn't start searching for properties. A lot of times um, we're taught, just get on the phone and call realtors or call sellers. And I was on the phone every single day, but not with sellers. I got on the phone and I talked to as many people inside the community as possible. And I asked two questions. I said, what do you have in your business and what do you need? And I was just trying to connect with as many people as possible. And I was personally searching for the biggest problem in the community. And I knew if I could solve a major problem, I could make a lot of money because I'd be in high demand. And the conclusion was everybody's always looking for more capital on their deals. As I was connecting with all these people, I was asking everyone if they had money to lend, and if so, how much and how soon. And I kept track of it in my phone. And so when someone in the community posted, hey, I have a deal, I'm looking for capital, I was able to go to my phone and type in the little search engine, a little money sign, and everybody I'd talked to over the last 2 years that has capital, I was able to just send them all a text and raise capital from all of the connections I've made. So I personally don't call sellers. I just talk to network a bunch of people looking for people that have the money.
Mm, really? It's really so easy. Just network.
Just it literally is just network. And then I've been to probably once a quarter, I go to a different type of real estate convention or capital raising, and network with the people there. And I always go searching for who am I looking for, the right type of partners. And and then I just network with them and inside of their network too.
Okay. So what about communities? What about people out of real estate communities? Do you work with them? Do you work with people who never done lending?
Okay.
Do you have any
So
do you have any strategy how to find them, how to
yes,
start
I
your
do.
dialogue?
I do. And this is going to be the second way I answer that question. And this is on a much bigger scale. I went to a
Yeah.
convention, it was called Fund Launch Live, and it was all about raising capital. And one thing one gentleman talked about was he said, find your avatar on who you're raising capital from. And I was like, it
Mm,
took me a minute. And he explained it like this. He said, there's all these different ways you can acquire real estate. You can do fix and flip. You can have Airbnbs. You can have apartments. You could do all of them, or you can get really good at one. And the people that make a lot of
mm,
money get really good at their niche, like mobile home parks or apartment complexes. He said, take the same concept and apply that to who you raise capital from. He's like, you could raise capital from a whole bunch of random people all over, or you could really hone it in. And let's say you're a dentist, raise capital from a bunch of other dentists, get on podcasts with other dentists, go to different conventions and make friends with the dentists and tell them that you also do real estate on the side and you raise capital for these type of deals. Or if you're an attorney or if you're in tech, whatever your business is outside of real estate or a certain type of niche. And so I started working for a company called Sonos Capital, and I started recruiting team members. And so I took that concept and I started looking for people that already had their niche on who they wanted to raise capital from. And one of my favorite ways to raise capital is retirement accounts. You can
mm-hmm.
invest with your 401k or a self-directed. And so someone I brought onto my team, that was her other business, was she helped people with their self-directed accounts. And so now all of
Mm-hmm.
those clients and customers of hers are looking to her on saying, hey, now I have $200,000 in an account. Where should I invest it? Well, now she's on my team and she's like, here, invest it in our mobile home park. So a lot of times you can find your niche within another area of life that you're already in, and finding those people, you understand their language, you're on the same page,
Mm-hmm.
you can relate to them, and now you just have experience also in real estate.
Yeah, this is great advice. Really great advice. So we all know we need to narrow our goals in any kind of business, right? Even if in capital raising, it's great advice, really. Because if you will narrow your understanding, narrow your path, you will understand more psychology of these people. They are pain, right? They have
Yes,
something specific, something really their own. Why you
exactly.
what about you should speak with them? Yeah, great
Yeah,
advice.
exactly. You said a perfect word, pain. You understand their pain points. And it's really interesting because I've been in sales a long time, and you want to talk more about pain points and how you can overcome them, not just all of because that's people put up these red flags of how can I trust this person? And a motto I like to live by is no one likes to be sold.
Mhm.
Everyone likes to buy, and everyone hates the fear of missing out. So when
Yep.
I'm pitching someone, I know how to create that exact, overcome that exact formula. So let's break it down. First, no one likes to be sold. Who loves the door-to-door guy? Who likes the pushy car salesman? Who likes the guy in the
Nobody.
mall that's trying to get you to sell the perfume right then? Like,
Nobody.
human nature, no one likes that. And so that's where I think
Yep.
some people get stuck when they're raising capital, because they feel like they're being that person and they
Mm-hmm.
don't want you to feel sold on them. Here's the crazy thing. Psychology, people feel better leaving a store if they bought something. People like to
Mm-hmm.
pull out their money. People like to buy. People want to buy stuff. They don't want to feel sold, but they do want to buy. And so how I overcame that portion is, let's say I've pitched someone. You go through, how have you ever seen people with their pitch decks and they have a PowerPoint and they're showing like all the numbers and the property. At the very end, let's say I went through my pitch. Here's how I close. And this part gets tricky for people because after they've pitched, they usually are like, okay, do you want to do this? Like, are you in or are you not? And I never ask someone if they want to invest at the end of my pitch. I just say, okay, that's basically what I have to show you. What we're going to do now, this is showing that you're in control of the conversation, and this builds trust with them. You say, hey, I'm going to send you an email with this investor deck, all the numbers, the stuff we talked about. I'm going to give you 24 hours to send me any questions you have relating this deal.
Mm-hmm.
I just need an answer within 48 hours. Can you give me an answer within 48 hours? Okay, perfect. Because I need to go finish raising the capital for this deal, but I want to give you the opportunity to take a look at it. I just need an answer within the next 2 days. What I
Mm-hmm.
subconsciously and psychology like just did right there was, here, I'm giving you an opportunity, but I'm also taking it away in 2 days. And that's the FOMO. People don't want to feel like they're missing out. You're also presenting yourself in a way of, I don't really need your money, so I don't really need you. That just makes people want to be a part of it more because I feel confident that I can go raise the capital somewhere else. But here's the opportunity. You're also setting up the follow-up calls. They know you're going to be texting them within the next 24 hours and they need to talk to their spouse or think about it or sleep on it or whatever within 48 hours. And then you're going to basically go pitch someone else.
Yeah, I love it. You give people feeling, then they decide. They have
Yeah.
free will to decide, right?
Yep.
Not
Yep.
just you came to them and ask about something. You just gave opportunity, and they can decide by themselves. Because
Yeah.
everyone don't hate to be sold, but everyone loves to be free.
Yes. And make the
Yep.
decision for themselves. And as someone that's been pitched a lot of deals, I like when someone talks about all the things that can go wrong and how they would overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this could go wrong. This could go wrong. If this went this way, play different scenarios for them. If my payments are late, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to contact you every day, the first day of the month, to give you an update. If I don't connect with you on a monthly basis, there's a fee. This gives me the security of knowing you're not going to just disappear after I've given you your money. The
Mm-hmm.
collateral, talk about your past your portfolio, the type of deals that you
Mm-hmm.
have to build your confidence and being able to talk about yourself and your success stories, and even give referrals to people that you have borrowed money from. And so I have people reach out to me quite often from some of my lenders that are like, hey, I'm thinking of lending to Garrett Kaplan. He's one of my business partners. What has been your experience? Every time Garrett has paid me on time or early. So I'm going to tell them that. So if you have people that you can connect your potential lenders to, that is also super helpful.
Another great advice, honestly. Yeah,
And
everything related to
and
relationship.
yeah, and some people are like, what if I've never done my first deal? I've never raised capital before. Usually I tell people
Hmm.
to partner with someone who already has the experience or the collateral or the partners, basically pay or borrow their credibility to be your partner until you have your own portfolio or some of your own connections. So don't be afraid to partner with someone that's more experienced.
Yeah, great. Absolutely agree. Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you, Mike, for being here today with us, for commenting in the chat. Please don't feel hesitate to ask Jill any questions. You see, she's open, she's kind, and she's so sincere. She's happy to share with you guys. Yeah, and next, my logical question is: okay, you met potential lender, you started, you get your first conversation, you gave them understanding what you are doing. What next? Because follow up and building relationship, for me, for example, this is the trickiest part. How to keep this relationship warm? How to develop it to the way to make people trust you? What do you do? What is your favorite tactic?
So this is actually a really interesting question because you and I are females and we are in a space where we work with a lot of males. And so I make sure people are very clear and understand that I take my business very serious. So that first conversation you're getting to know someone, I especially when I'm at these conventions or these events, I do get to know people, but I also am very serious about my business and that's why I'm here. And so that's what I talk to them about when I'm at these conventions and what I'm working on. The reason I say that is because that's setting the tone for when I follow up with them. They remember, oh, that conversation. She said she's really serious about her business. This is what she does. And a really simple line you can use is, do you want me to keep you in the loop with future deals? And they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, sure, of course, I'd love to know what you're working on or what you're doing." And so you can follow them on social media. You can text them regularly. I personally only reach out if I have deals. Then they know that I'm here about business, and I just keep that continuing, with the follow-up of every time someone has a deal with me or someone brings me a deal, then I send them a text or an email and then I just get on a call with them. I get straight to the point. Also, if you remember those two questions I ask people is what do you have in your business and what do you need? And if I find someone that has money, I keep track of that in either a CRM or like on my phone. Super simple, super simple. I keep it really simple. And if you have another connection with someone else that could solve one of their problems or help get them to one of their goals, then they're going to remember you. So let's say you're at this convention meeting people and they said they had this certain type of goal and you have a connection to help them be like, oh, I've got to connect you with so and so. If they can see that you're trying to help them by connecting them to the right partners or the right person, they're also going to remember that too.
Good. So you want to say, Jill, we sometimes have really this misconception because everyone tells us build relationship, build relationship. Some people believe to build relationship it's to be became friends, to greet each other, children with birthday, to send each other gifts for Christmas. So you want to say to build relationship, business relationship, it's just really to give people chance to bring opportunities, right?
Yep.
To come back to them with deals. And sometimes we call it really be to build relationship with lenders. Is it
Yes.
correct?
Yep. And you're trying to solve a problem for them. And if you know like their buy box, you know their goals, you know what type of deals that they've already done, then you know what to bring them or what to pitch them or what they would or wouldn't invest on.
Mm, interesting. Wow. I remember myself when I just started building relationship with lenders and I had this misconception. What I should tell, how I can follow up, what I should say them, how are you, how is that? it's silly. Like you said, less thinking about ourselves, more thinking about people. We
Yep.
all are busy.
Everybody's busy. I personally, but that's just how I do business. I don't do a lot of the fluff. I reach out when I have an opportunity, and when I get on a call, we're all really busy. I set the standard really high, and I give them a half an hour of my time. I want to know what their goals are, where they're at, pitch them my deal, and see if we can collaborate. So you don't have to necessarily do a constant follow up, um, but also connecting with them every time you go to like these conventions. I see a lot of the same people, so naturally just build relationships being around them.
Good, 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 good. Thank you so much, Jill. So many good, so much good information, really. And I believe guys who watch us right now, it helps you a lot because it helps me. It opens eyes. It helps with understanding.
And
Jill, do you remember? Yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, no, go ahead, please, because I'm going to
Oh,
ask you questions.
oh, okay. I was just going to say, this has been another way that I've raised capital is by getting on podcasts, because people reach out to me once they hear kind of what I'm working on, the experience I've had, they've asked for advice, or if I've gained business partners this way. So connecting with, like yourself, connecting with other podcasters and getting on their episodes and vice versa, of getting the word out so that people know what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. I have another friend of mine, Amber McCollum. She's another known capital raiser in our community. Yeah, and I remember when she told me, and all to all of us, that all I do is just speaking with people. I'm just telling them what I'm doing. I
Yep,
spread information around. It's it's
that's what it is.
but there are some nuances. You need to understand psychology. Yeah,
Oh, it definitely helps. It definitely helps.
yeah, and you need to be authentic, I believe. We don't have play games, really. We have to be ourselves. People feel it.
Yes, they
Yep.
do. And when some of these deals that I help raising capital for, we're talking about tens of millions of dollars. And so I
Mm,
take it very serious. My conversations are very serious. My meetings are very serious. Um, so that everybody takes the whole situation and the deal seriously.
yeah. Cool. Bill just put in the chat, being visible, top of mind. Yeah, this is truth. This how our how social media could help us.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question. I believe you are still human being, Jill, and what kind of mistakes you made maybe in the beginning of your journey as a capital raiser? Do you remember something you would never do it again?
I did not keep track of people well enough. I still don't, because I'm like, oh, I have someone who was just telling me about this thing, or having a better system, or setting up a CRM earlier on. So then when you do have a deal come through, you can send out a mass email to your list of investors or things like that. So
Mhm.
before, I used to just keep it on a piece of paper. And I know I have lots of things that fell through the cracks because I didn't stay as organized as I could have been with my contacts.
Oh, so you want to say to be well organized, this is a good point.
Yes. And doing your due diligence on a deal. I'd rather you pass on 100 deals before you do your first one, because you just don't want to miss out because other people are doing it. Don't feel the pressure of what other people are doing. Do your due diligence with working with attorneys, looking at paperwork, your collateral, the people that have done business or deals with who you're lending your money to, things like that.
Mm. Okay, so what other tools do you use right now to keep your process on the top? Any CRMs, whatever.
Yeah. So a great CRM for people that are starting out is Monday.com. I use Go High
Mhm.
Level, and I use a gentleman named Bill Welch. He helps set up. He's also in Sub 2. He helps set up my CRM system. And so then I can have funnels and a lot of things that go inside of it, send out emails, things like that, even just a spreadsheet. And one trick I did really, really early on, if you're brand new, I still use it. In my phone, when I put in someone's contact information, I put a little money bag next to their name. So when I need to go send out a text message to all my people that have money, I just put in the search engine the bag of money, and all the people that I've talked to that I know have
Good,
funds, I can easily
good.
shoot a text. It's a really easy, fast way. Um, it's just a little trick that worked for me.
Good. You have iPhone, right? Because I have Android and I don't have this
Oh,
feature.
yeah. You can still use a money sign, just not the bag.
Yeah, yeah. Correct. Yeah. We have a question from Mike. How do you protect yourself when entering into a deal? Mm.
That is
I would
great.
ask I would ask Mike to clarify a little bit.
I
When entering into a deal as a capital raiser, correct?
because there's two different ways. Like I could be the capital raiser, or I could be the person lending my money.
Yeah.
We'll answer both of them. So it's very similar. Paperwork. You have to have the paperwork, because if you're raising capital and you don't have the paperwork, they could easily have the person fund and not pay you anything because there's nothing in the paperwork. And you also have to be very careful with raising capital with SEC laws, because there are legal
Mm.
and illegal ways at raising capital. And so you want to have that paperwork. I've become a partner on my deals. So, for example, my co-living partner, his name's Garrett Kaplan. Him and I have purchased some properties, and I've also raised capital for him to purchase properties that were not with my funds. It was someone else's.
Mhm.
I'm still a 10% equity partner because I raised the capital, and we still have the paperwork. I'm still a partner on it, um, in the deal. So making sure you have the JV agreements, having attorneys look over those. There's plenty of people inside the community before you do a deal that would be happy to look over your paperwork to make sure that it looked okay. Um, and find the people, not just anyone in the community, but find someone who is years ahead of what you're trying to accomplish, or that has done a lot of co-living, or has their own paperwork for co-living that you could model or look at like that. So making sure you have the right attorney, JV agreements, paperwork, and like I mentioned at the beginning of the call, collateral, or go to the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, if you don't pay your money back, what happens? And making sure that's all in the paperwork as well.
Mhm. Yeah. Good. Mike, did Jill answer your question? If you need more information, please let us know. Uh, Jill, did you ever take any mentorship?
Yes, and it's really
Oh.
interesting because my first mentorship, I I will rewind. I started in door-to-door sales, and I owned a pest control company, and so I was knocking doors for years. And then I got into real estate, and I was like, how can I get my money making me money? And I started networking with some people that I kind of knew from the door-to-door world, and it led me to a group that taught me how to go get a loan to get a property for a house. And I was like, okay, the only W-2 job I ever had was in high school. Like I can't qualify for a loan. Like I could buy a house with cash, but I can't go get a loan. So this mentorship was not very helpful. Fast forward, I came across Pace Morby online and joined his sub 2 community. And I built a connection with him personally, and he kind of taught me how to get my foot in the door with private money lending. And now I'm been in his owners club community just this last year as well, and that's really where my capital raising amplified. And so I've been in different mentorships, but Sub2's been the biggest community that I've been a part of.
Mhm. Great. And you really believe mentorship helps? We all
Yes.
need
And
mentors.
so mentorship is really interesting because it doesn't necessarily needs to be a mentorship. You need to find the person that is really, really good at what you are trying to accomplish. And so when I came across Pace Morby online, I was like, okay, cool. He's in real estate. If I can just learn what he's doing and do the same thing, I'll have similar results. Well, once I
Mhm.
got in his community, I realized what he's doing is not exactly what I'm trying to do. But
Mhm.
inside his community were the people that were doing what I was trying to do, and that was lending my money. I don't have a bunch of sub two properties. I was just trying to learn how to raise capital and how to lend my own money. And so inside the community, I was searching for, and that's why I was getting on phone calls every day, searching for who is the best at what I'm trying to do. And so I was searching for the people that had lent their own money, not the deals. I wasn't trying to find the right deal to lend on. I was trying to learn from the people who were already lending their money to begin with. So you don't even need to necessarily join a mentorship. You just need to find the person that's already doing what you're trying to do and find a way to bring value to them and let them be your mentor. And in our culture, in our community, a lot of times I tell people, you want to learn from someone? Well, bring them value. What kind of value can you bring them? Raise capital, and they'll probably teach you if you're able to bring money to the table.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, thank you so much, Jill. Guys, we have probably 5 minutes left. If you still have questions, please put them into the chat. Thank you so much, Jill, for all this conversation. We all need sometimes fresh piece of fresh air for us to get rid of this scariness, to listen someone's experience, to really to became more confident about. It's nothing scary about capital raising. It's it's
You're
absolutely possible to do it.
you're actually helping someone. When you raise capital, you're helping someone. You're solving a problem. Someone has an extra $100,000, you're helping them put it in a vehicle to make them money and potentially get into a property or a partnership. And also potentially a lot of people invest to offset taxes. And that's a big reason in real estate why investors are so intrigued with placing their money in real estate in general. So let's say we take people outside of sub two that have a business and they're trying to look for a way to offset their taxes a little bit. That's just another key thing you can pitch them on is having a property.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have a couple comments in the chat. Toya wrote, I'm trying to find a person that's good with raising capital, one that didn't already have a network. Hmm. But why why you would not find opposite person who already has network?
Yeah. And that's just when you just have to network because I came from door to door sales pest control and I've never raised capital from my friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
I have only raised from people that I've met outside of my circle of influence. And I did that all by going to conventions or getting in these different Facebook group pages. There's so many different types of groups um, online that you can build relationships with in these groups, message them, get on Zoom calls with them, and just start creating a list of people. And if you know exactly the type of person you're searching for, it's going to be a lot easier to find them or know when you've located them.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Jill. And we have another question from Mike. He asks, any book or source recommendations?
Any, say that again?
Any book or sources recommendations? Do you know any
Who,
books
yes, yes.
that?
Who, not how. It's who
Oh,
you
great
know,
book.
not just what you know. And the book I read after that one is 10x is easier than 2x. 10xing your 10xing your business is is easier than just doubling it because you have to outsource and delegate. So in order to really grow, and that's why when I got in the position I did when I was in this fund that I was raising capital for, I was like, instead of me just raising capital, I want to go find 10 people that all have their own avatar. I want to go find the dentist and the person that does life insurance policies and the woman that does self-directed, and have all of them help raise capital for me. And so first it's who, not how, and then 10x is easier than 2x. And pitch anything.
Great.
That's another one.
Oh, great.
Pitch.
Oh, I don't know of this book. Pitch anything?
Yes.
Mm.
It
I
talks
should
about,
check. Thank you so much.
it's kind of what I talked about in the beginning. It talks about like the psychology of keeping control of the conversation, and they're subconsciously building trust in you and understanding how to overcome their concerns over putting your agenda on them.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. I will ask Jill to send me all these names of the books, and I will put these names under our video. So please don't worry if you didn't have chance to write it down. I will give this information. Another question from Bill: what do you send as text to your mass contacts?
What do I text them?
What do you send as text? Yes. What kind of information? What how looks your text?
Oh, super short. Super short. If I have a deal, someone like the other day, someone needed me to raise $50,000 for them. And I'm used to raising like hundreds of thousands. I don't usually do a smaller thing like 50,000, but I just put looking for $50,000 at 29 months. And that's literally all I put. If you want, and then I said, if you want more details, let me know. Then if someone wants more details, then I get them on a call and I talk to them over the phone first, and then I'll send them like an email. Or if I have, let's say someone is interested, they're like, oh, I do have $50,000 and I'm looking to, invest it somewhere. When they say they're interested, then I get my partner that needs the $50,000 on a Zoom call with me, him, and the lender. So super simple. I'm looking for $50,000 for 6 months at 20%. If you're interested, let me know and we'll jump on a call. And then I go through the details.
Beautiful. You already have your own system. It's workable system. I love it. Thank you so
Less
much.
is more.
Bill,
Simple.
perfect. As simple as possible. Bill, I hope Jill answered your question. Please let us know if you need more information. Yeah, thank you so much, Jill. I believe it was great. It was helpful. It was really super, super, super helpful. A lot of open information, and you're kind. You're great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being today my guest. Bye-bye, Jill. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye. Guys, thank you so much for being today with us. I hope it was really, really helpful for you. It was really, really helpful for me. I'm grateful to Jill a lot because we all are in the community where everyone knows as more you help people, the more you will get success, the faster you will get into your own success. Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Toya. And I hope for whoever who will watch us in the future, guys, I will put Jill's social media link under this video. Please reach out to her anytime. She's open, and she will be happy to help all of you. And if you're a private money lender, please reach out to me if you're looking for new projects. I'm always happy to build relationship with people for our future business. Thank you so much for being today with us. It was Elena. It was Jill Jensen, capital raiser from Sub2 Community. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your